Hey Raheem, how you doing, man?
I am doing awesome. How are you guys doing? Doing well?
Doing well. So first, just to get out of the way, just wanted to check on your status. I see you're at the facility. Have you been continuing to test negative this week?
You know, um, as far as I know, everything's good with the COVID protocol. Obviously, Reggie handles all that for us, and we've done our due diligence. I really feel like the organization's done a great job of handling it, and I really feel like the NFL's done a great job of being accountable to what matters the most. And I think the guys here are trying to do things the right way. And I think when you do things the right way, you handle things the right way, and it wasn't anything form of negligence. I think the guys really respond to that. Hence our games being moved back and all the other things. You got to be thankful for Les and Kevin Demoff and obviously Sean McVay, and all the people involved with talking to the league and communicating with the Seattle Seahawks and getting those things done in order to have our game and get our parity the way we want it.
Sorry, I might have asked that incorrectly, Raheem. Just you specifically, I'm wondering if you're comfortable sharing your status and what it's been like for you.
I'm gonna go. I have my mask on.
Obviously unprecedented. You guys dealt in various ways, and I know you're in a different place last year, but everyone dealt with this last year in some way. This obviously being unprecedented. What have the guys been like? How has your communication been with them this week?
Obviously everything communicated wise has been on Zoom. We've obviously done a nice job of getting our meetings done that way. We've done a nice job of being able to get to the grass the last couple of days and be able to go out there and get to our jog through sessions and do some of the things that we need to get ready for the game, almost similar to like you would see in a Thursday game, and to get these guys ready to go.
Thanks, Raheem.
No problem.
Lindsay.
Hey, Raheem. I know this is all subject to change, but right now you have three pretty significant starters who are on the COVID list. And some of them might come back, but how do you kind of keep your game plan for Russell Wilson fluid, knowing things are bound to change one way or the other?
First you start with yourself. It's all about your strengths first, Lindsay. You got to look at that and who you have and what you have and how you want to move those pieces around first. Then you're able to focus on the opposite team and the opposing team. And you definitely got to factor in what Russell does and what DK Metcalf does and all those other guys. And I'm sure they'll get some guys back. I'm sure they'll lose some guys, or whatever the case may be. And you get your game plan, keep it fluid. You take this thing all the way up to the wire. Obviously the wire now is on Tuesday at 4. And we got a lot of experience with that last week, losing Jalen at the time we did last week. So being able to be fluid, you got great coaches for a reason. The Ejiro Everose of the world, the Jonathan Coolies, the Hendersons, the Marcus Dixons, the Shulas, the Thads. Those guys do a great job of being able to stay consistent, be able to communicate with their guys. And I'm thankful to have those guys along with the flexibility of our staff and the moving parts that go along with that.
And then with how well you guys played, especially Aaron up front and whatnot on Monday Night Football, whenever that was at this point, how much are you kind of a believer in momentum and carrying that performance into the next? And does a break like this, if you do think momentum's a thing, kind of change that at all?
I don't know if it's a break. I just think it's moved the game back in a little prolonged point. But, Aaron, let's be honest, he checked whoop ass last week. And, he's one of those guys that you would like him to do that every single week. And he's capable of that any day. Any given Sunday, not to steal a phrase, but it's the movie, but that's just the reality of it. And he did that last week and we're very proud of him. And I think he can do it again at any moment.
Thanks.
Kevin.
Hi, Raheem. If Jordan Fuller weren't available, who would be the signal caller?
We got some valuable options, obviously with the people that we have on our roster. Jalen is back, being able to step up to the plate, being some of the guys that have done it before for us in practice. T-Rap also has some reps at it, having a mic in his helmet. He doesn't like it necessarily, but he's able to communicate and get some of the things done. He's just angry, but he can also do it. We have some nice options there. So if we don't get Captain Jordan back, then we'll be able to see some of those other guys do it, whether it be Jordan or whether it be Jalen. Whether it be Ernest or whether it be Jalen, which we got a lot of confidence in. Fortunately this year, we've had some games where we've gotten a chance to take Jordan out, and Ernest has taken over the mic calling and been able to handle those duties, and he's been very successful at doing those things.
And Matthew Stafford talked after the Monday game about how maybe that measure of adversity might have brought the team together a little bit, and obviously you've had worse and as the week's gone on. And Aaron Donald was saying today that that kind of thing can bring a team together. Is that wishful thinking, or with your sense of a team's mojo, can that actually happen?
Yeah, those are great players saying what they're supposed to say for their team. For me, adversity is a part of the season. Whether it's a loss, whether it's a pandemic, which we've been through the last couple of years, and though all those things bring teams together, all those things bring people closer, bring people tighter, and the resiliency in this team and the ability to flow with the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows or whatever it is, I've really been impressed with since I've been here. We've been through winning streaks, we've been through losing streaks, we've been through losing guys at the beginning of the game, right in the same day of, and we've been through the preparation of this week. So I love our chances, and I love this team. I love the ability to bounce around at anything.
Well, you said that's great players saying what they should say, but
No doubt.
it sounds like you agree.
I mean, I really do. When you got that kind of leadership, and those guys said, the two guys you mentioned, being Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald, you can't help but grab onto that rope and fly behind the Superman. Let them go.
Good, thank you.
Stu.
I like this order right here that you got going on, artists, just calling out people when they talk to me. They usually fight over the artists. I like this.
Raheem, is there anything you change from preparation standpoint in wake of some of the uncertainty with personnel that you've been dealing with, as far as structuring meetings differently or spending more time with guys on the practice squad, for example? Like, what sorts of things, if any, do you change?
There's no doubt about that, Stu. I've met some people this week. That's been great. We got some people caught up to speed. It's more about what they can do and not what they can't. Been able to juggle some pieces around, been able to hand out some multiple roles. I've been able to talk about those things in a meeting structure, been able to structure a couple of different meeting standards and how we want to do things. All stuff that we went through last year, myself not being here, obviously being in Atlanta, we got hit bad in Atlanta, and we were able to navigate some of those things. And I was able to, share some of those experiences with Sean, and he's taken some of those things and run with it. And some of the things we're not able to run with, but it is what it is. I mean, this has been one of those weeks that's been challenging, but at the same time is what we do. Is how you deal with adversity and how you go about your business and move forward.
Thank you.
No problem, Steve.
Gary.
Hey, Raheem. Aside from Aaron, or I guess in combination with him, Leonard and Vaughn and Greg Gaines, your front seemed like it played, the best game it had collectively together. I'm just curious if that's how you would evaluate it, or where you saw their performance against Arizona and going.
Okay, good. I'm thank you. You kind of breaking up a little bit, Gary, but you're talking about the front versus Arizona, correct?
Correct.
There's no doubt. Gary, I actually showed this in a meeting early in the week. I forget what day it is now, but I showed it one of these days this week. These guys out there throwing hands, and particularly Leonard Floyd. If Aaron Donald didn't steal a show last week with the 3 sacks and his ability to blow up the game and, like I said, check whoop ass, Flo might have got the player of the week as well. Getting the interception, his ability, how he played in the run, how he was able to manhandle people on the edge and absolutely dominate the game for us. I was really impressed with his ability, his flow, how he played. Gaines inside, has been lights out since we've been able to put him in there. Obviously, filling in for Bash. He's been out there and he's done a great job and just playing really physical and hard-nosed football. And Ashawn continues to ascend, in my opinion. I think he's playing at a high level. I think he's playing that 4-eye, that dominant DN, 3 technique, whatever you want to call him, position at a very high level for us right now, playing around really well with his hand usage, his ability to lock, shed and peak and create plays, coming off the block, making tackles. Those are the things you need from your front to step up when you miss people in the back end. And I was extremely proud on how they responded. And not to mention what Vaughn added to the party. He gave Aaron a gift at the end so he can get his hat trick by missing that sack on purpose so Aaron can go get him. But we're very thankful for that for Vaughn. But his ability to affect the passer, his ability to play the run, he got involved and active on a reverse this week on a play that bounced back and cut back to him. We made one of those nice form-fitting tackles, and those guys up front were extremely active versus the Arizona Cardinals.
Thank you.
What's the score right now? Those guys are playing, aren't they?
27-6.
27-6. Who?
Detroit.
Ooh, really? The Fighting Aubrey Pleasants. Let's go.
Yeah. Dennis.
Hey, Coach Morris, how are you doing?
Hey, Dennis.
Talk
Dennis,
about the way you're
background. Look at you. What you got going on?
it's somewhere I went to in the South. Can you talk about the way your secondary has been playing of late?
Okay.
And what is the biggest challenge that DK Metcalf poses to your secondary?
No problem. I'll start with the last game, because that's always the freshest thing you want to think about. But the ability for D. Will to step up and take the Jalen Ramsey role last week at the last minute was very impressive. Started off, he got a couple catches caught on him, but then he was able to make a couple plays down the stretch in the end zone, particularly on Hopkins, that I can recall right now at the top of my head. The play that D-Lo made on the high cross early in the game on Hopkins. Those two guys in particular stepping up, and I talked about it, them getting their hands on the ball was huge in that game. And obviously that team made some plays. They got some really good football players, AJ Green, potential Hall of Famer, Hopkins, potential Hall of Famer, and to watch those guys go out and make some plays on those guys without Jalen, I thought was really impressive. Kareem jumping out there into the limelight, really getting baptized by fire, was a lot of fun by all of us. Even though he gave us some catches, he stayed in the fight. He stayed confident. He stayed ready to go, and he was able to get us to that game and get us a win. And I was really proud with how the corners performed in that phase of the game last week. The constant leadership from Fuller, the constant leadership from Rapp, and those guys going out there being the play, and also Nick Scott going out there making some plays. Yes, we gave him some plays in the back end. You gave us some big plays, but we were able to hold on versus a very good football team and play in a highly competitive playoff-like atmosphere. And I was extremely excited with how those guys played at the end of the day. You guys know my saying, stats are for losers. But I think those guys got to keep playing and keep fighting. And I think they did that. And I was very impressed with how they played. And then your next question, how do you deal with Metcalf? You don't. You go out there and you play your game. You can't worry about what he's doing. You got to worry about what you're trying to do against him and how you're going to formulate your plan so you can dictate terms and play the games on our pace and how we want to play it. So those how we deal with everybody else, not to belittle anybody, but we like our guys. We like our people, and when we're out there ready to play, we're going to be ready to go.
Last question I wanted to ask is, do you feel like your defensive line with Aaron and Leonard are hitting their stride right now at the end of the season?
This is the time of the year that you want to get hot. Nothing like December, playing a little hot football, rolling into Christmas, playing well. Those guys got a lot of confidence. Those guys practicing well. It's definitely coming from that. It's definitely coming from their coachings. I can't mention those guys enough, whether you're talking about the secondary coaches or you're talking about our D-line coaches and our linebacker guys, all working together, being on the same page, finding ways to get these guys great game plans in order to go out there for us to win games the way we have the last 2 weeks.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, Coach, we wrap up with Jordan.
Jordan again? Come on, Jordan. What you got?
I actually have two quick ones, Artis, if that's all right, and Raheem, if you have the time. First, your players stepped up against Arizona, obviously, and a lot of guys are hitting their flow at the right time. But do you also feel that on the coaching side? Do you feel like that was maybe collectively y'all's as a group, y'all's best coached game of the year so far?
I don't know that, Jordan. That's for you to say. I'll take the compliment whenever you're ready to give it. But I will say this. This thing is just not players getting better. It's coaches getting better. Sean McVay, when he's calling offense, I'm sure he's feel like he's getting better as the season goes with the people he has and how he adjusts. There's no doubt about it for myself. Coming here, being a part of a new culture, really embracing that culture, really taking on the identity of our team, the we not me mentality. I think really getting to the flow of the game and being able to be out there with these guys for a bunch of weeks. There's no doubt about it that I'm a better coach than I was in week one. And I really enjoy the growth and development here, the cross the hallway communications with Kevin that I'm able to get, the ability to talk to those guys and be able to talk football, to be able to talk about what people are doing and what they're trying to do in order to get everybody on the same page, as well as with our defensive coaches and our offensive coaches. I think that remains one of our constant things that makes us better than everybody else.
And then just to pivot really quick, not trying to put you on the spot or anything, but Cooper Kupp, the season he's having, I know when you guys are on the side, you're obviously workshopping, but sometimes you do get to see some of those incredible moments that he has. Do you have a favorite one from this year, whether it's a catch or a play he's made away from the ball?
He is amazing. The thing that I most appreciate about Cooper Kupp all the catches I know you guys have seen. I know you've seen all the routes. The most impressive thing to me about Cooper Kupp is when I come into the building, he's in his own little office, in his own meetings, and sometimes he's with the quarterback, sometimes he's alone, sometimes he's with Ben Skronik. But the man works constantly. And my favorite moment for him is watching him block. To watch him double team a DN, an outside backer, whatever it is, with a combination block with a tackle or a tight end is probably one of the most impressive things I've seen from a receiver standpoint in a long time. To so much of a factor, I had to go to him and tell him how wrong I was in my evaluation when I was coaching receivers when I evaluated him. And I said, I'm sorry. I said, you're the greatest. I love you.
I don't suppose you want to share what you had him under as an evaluation.
I had him as a really high grade. There's some question marks on some toughness over the middle, and those are absolutely wrong. He is probably one of the best receivers over the middle and catching the football and creating separation, which I know he can do. You know, I thought he was a great separator. I thought he had all the footwork, all the movement, you know, all the contact balance, but he is shown just to be one of the best, if not the best in the league right now.
Raheem, thank you. Appreciate it.